Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to be out here as usual bringing this lovely message of self-realization to you. This message I will set you free if you take my advice, whereby I am pointing you to look inwardly to discover your identity, to be your divinity. Thus the reason why, my brother, my sisters, the basis of my teaching is that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically, that it is not literal, neither is it secular history. So with that being said, I want to talk to you concerning Neville Goddard, Abdullah, and the ladder technique. And the reason why I mention Abdullah is because Abdullah was actually the mentor or the teacher of Neville Goddard, and he would have taught Neville that imagination creates reality and that consciousness is actually the only reality. But not until 26 years later that Neville in 1959 had the birth from above, which is the birth from the skull. Okay? Now, many people regurgitate the ladder technique, but let us look more closely and see what was Neville trying to tell us by having the ladder technique challenge. Now, there's a guy who said that he went to a meeting where Neville was speaking, and he gave them something to do. And what he gave them to do was a challenge. And he said that only those who do the challenge, those are the ones who's been invited for the next meeting, which was the next Sunday. He was speaking at the Ebel Theater at Wilshire Boulevard, I think. Okay, and it is stated that only a few people basically went through the exercise. But the point I want to get across to you is that he had them writing all over that I would not climb a ladder, I would not climb a ladder. But yet they were supposed to go to bed climbing a ladder in their imagination. And so when we look at the scripture, we see that the scripture says you must not just be a hearer, but you must be a doer. So Neville was teaching the people how they must become doers. He was also teaching them that this message of self-realization is not theory, but it is practical. He was teaching them also that they must not just believe in him, but they must prove what he's saying by putting it to work. Also, he was displaying 2 Corinthians 13:5, which tells you that you must examine yourself, see if you're in faith or not. Then it says, don't you know your own self? That Jesus Christ is in you, showing you that the creative power is in you, showing you that the infinite power is within you, showing you that the kingdom of God is within you, showing you also that when you first seek the kingdom and you discover the kingdom, that you discover the secret of creation. It means that when you discover who you are, you understand that you are the Lord and Master. You are the creator of your own destiny. Also, when you find who you are or you discover who you are, you'll also come to realize that it is your thoughts that is creating your reality. And when you discover that it is your thoughts that is creating your reality, you come to realize that you can actually create your reality consciously. But in order for you to create your reality consciously, you have to always look inwardly and be responsible for your thoughts. You have to be the policeman of your thoughts. You have to be mindful each and every day of the thoughts that you're going to embrace in your mind. And you have to be also conscious of how you go to bed and how you wake, because that is what would shape your day and your weeks and your months and your years. So my brother and my sisters, it's teaching you that everything is mental. Everything is psychological. Everything was first a thought. Everything you see around you, it is the manifestation of a thought. Every action stems from a thought. So your mind is what you got to use to create whatever you want. Now, whenever you believe in a power outside of yourself, you're doubting your own self. You're giving away your own power, your creative power. Because there is a power inside of you that you can use that power to achieve your every desire. But in order for you to use that power to achieve your every desire, you have to learn to believe in yourself. You have to come to realize that God is your own human imagination. That's the creator in each and every one. For everything in this world that was made, it was first imagined. It was first an idea. And everything else that ever going to be made, it must first be an idea. It must first be a thought. It must first be imagined. So he was teaching that imagination is the key. He was teaching that you're born with certain mental faculties and you must discover how to use these mental faculties. And that the academic education that you were given in school was actually blocking you from using these faculties that you're born with, which is like your will, your reasoning, your perception, your memory, your intuition, your imagination. All of these things is what hold value. But we were taught not to put value in the things that we receive for free. But the things that people pay money for, they put value in them. So even in those days, when people go to the meetings, many times it was like free. But sometimes he would pass a plate around because people always wanted us to donate to Neville. And that particular night, it is said that he said the plate would not pass tonight. And he also said that if anyone wants to teach you to be how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and they need your money, it means that they do not know how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. He said, but I know. And I'm only doing this because I love to do it. Now all of that was to show you also the scripture in Job 33. And when you read Job 33, you will find the verse or the verses that is telling you how you're supposed to go to bed. Also, by Neville teaching the people that technique of how to climb the ladder in their imagination, he was teaching them Matthew 6:6, which says that you must go into the closet, into the place of meditation, and you must close the door, which is speaking of your eyes, and speak to the Father that is in secret. Who's the Father that is in secret? The invisible man, the Creator. So you can draw on that invisible power. All of that he was teaching you there. Also he was teaching you Songs of Solomon, chapter 3. That teaches you that when you have a desire, you must hold to that desire and do not let that desire go. But many people do not realize it's a desire. Because when you say you love her, people are looking on the outside and thinking about gender. But when you say, I search all over for the one I love, it is a desire it is talking about. So when you have a haunting desire, it is a spiritual sensation. And when you accept it and you believe it, it becomes an impregnation. And that impregnation will give the result of a manifestation. That's how everything came into this world. From thought, action, and manifestation. So when you have a thought, the thought is first invisible. You can't see a thought, you can't taste a thought, you can't touch a thought, you cannot contact a thought by the five senses. But when you believe upon that which you cannot see, and you act, you put action to whatever idea, whatever thought you have in your mind, and you understand the law of gestation, you understand that a certain time and a certain season, it will be manifested. Because that is the law of creation. That's how all of creation works, because we are all governed by certain divine laws. All of humanity is governed by certain laws, and all of the universe is governed by certain laws. So when you walk by those laws, you understand the creation process. And you'll be able to create your reality consciously. You're the one who will decide whether to live in a poverty mentality or to live in a place of opulence. It is your right. When you look all around you, it's abundance. You look at the sea, you see an abundance. You look at the trees, you look at the birds, you look at everything around it, it's abundance. Therefore, you have to reshape your mindset. That's the reason why he was giving them that exercise just before bedtime. Because there's something about bedtime. When you're going to sleep, you're moving out of the three-dimensional wall into the fourth dimension. You're moving from the visible into the invisible. You're moving from the wall of the five senses into the wall of the sixth sense, into the wall of the super sense. That is why you can fall asleep and you can have a dream. Because this life itself is a dream. So you're having a dream in a dream. So he's showing you when you have a desire, when you have a dream, when you have a goal. Because you understand that this life is a dream and it's all have to do with sleep. You go through a vision, an active vision while you are awake, and you act out a scene as if that which you so desire already fulfilled. And you get into the feeling of that which fulfilled. That's the reason why he told them to climb the ladder as they fall asleep. They fall asleep even climbing the ladder in their imagination, and then they climb the ladder in person. And those were the ones who were invited to the next meeting, and he told them, just as easy you could have had on $1 million, showing you how everything has been attained, showing you the secret of millionaires, billionaires, entrepreneurs, showing you how we are to be conscious throughout the entire day up to the very point of when we are going to bed. That's the reason why you're told never to go to bed in your wrath, never to go to bed being angry or being discouraged or in any unbelief. So my brother and my sisters, what he was doing, what Neville was doing there in that meeting at the Wilshire Boulevard Theater, he was separating, the wheat from the tares. And when I say the wheat from the tares, I'm speaking about the doers and the hearers. That's why I always encourage you not just to be a hearer, but to be a doer. And to take more than what is said in these lectures. You have to read between the lines. You have to understand what is the principle that have been taught in these lessons, because there are many people just regurgitating Neville. You understand? That's the reason why I was able to go into the mind of Abdullah and wrote a book called The Black Mystic from Ethiopia. Some people read it and they get it from one angle. Some people think I'm speaking about race and all of these things. No, but the part of this world that I grew up and raised, being predominantly black, I mean taught certain things in order to show the people how to rearrange their mind and to change their belief system. You have to show them what was done to them through religion. You have to show them what was done to them through the educational system. You have to show them what was done to them through the political system. You have to show them that they are worshipping idol and that they are in idolatry, and they have to break their mind from this kind of idolatry so that they can come into the place of self-realization, knowing who they are. So that is what the whole exercise was really all about. So you do not necessarily have to go to bed actually climbing a ladder. It could be anything else that you can use just to prove that imagination creates reality, and that consciousness is the only reality. That the very life in you is what creates all reality, and that you can create your reality consciously if you would just look inwardly to discover your divinity. So with that being said, my brother, my sister, I want to thank you very much. I want to say that that ladder technique, you don't have to be a ladder, you can use it with anything. Okay? So I want to encourage you, if this message is resonating with you, to like, you can subscribe, share this message, you can comment. Now, this message I bring to you, I always remind that it is single eye message of self-realization, where Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body be full of light. And hadn't it been that I would have experienced this light of which Matthew 6:20 was speaking about, I would not have been here. Hadn't it been that I have awakened within myself like a fiery being and hauled the hand out the wind, ascending up on high, burst my crown chakra, came out in another form, became invisible, became one with the wind, and fulfilled St. John chapter 3, I would not be here speaking to you. That's the reason why I always put my hand on my crown chakra or just above my crown chakra, showing you the symbol of the single eye and letting you know that's the reason why they have that symbol and even on the American dollar, because they know of this experience and they know that there are those who will come above the skull and come to realize it's the capping of the pyramid, and that the stone that the builder refused, that has come, the headstone. And so my brother and my sister, when you have this experience, you come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For the sun parallels the human imagination, the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun there is no life and there is no light, and without the human imagination there isn't anything made that was made. And the sun is what powers all of humanity. Also, the Bible refers to the sun as the Lord thy God. And it says also, and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And that's in Psalms 84:11. And Malachi 1:2 says that the sun, as in the S-U-N, of righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. So my brothers, my encouragement to you is to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your creative power. Use that power to achieve your every desire. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all. I'm out.